This is a massive warning to every single one of you that is holding Bitcoin or any crypto. In this video, I want to play the devil's advocate right now in the Bitcoin price action and show these signals that are basically flashing right now that are major warning signals. So guys, let's jump straight into that. And guys, I first want to start off a little bit with the sentiment, right? So it always takes time for the sentiment to completely shift. But if I'm really going to play the devil's advocate right now, you can definitely see the sentiment is extremely bullish. We have seen meme tokens going up very much, altcoins going up very much. But if you can remember how you would feel right here, it was actually the opposite. Here we had a massive dump. The sentiment was so negative that everyone was just like, it was just really feeling like, yeah, we are in a prolonged bear market. Bitcoin will see lower levels, stuff like that, right? But it's good to realize right now that the feeling of the sentiment of the Bitcoin price action right now is completely the opposite of the price action right here. And that could be actually a warning signal, because if that would be the opposite, then we could come down and get a breather. Another thing that I want to talk about, guys, is that basically the Bitcoin ETF approval is actually already a done deal. It is a done deal. It is like, I think it has never been as sure as of right now that Bitcoin ETF is going to be approved, right? It has never been more sure. So that also something that I think that is kind of right now when we look at the markets, it's kind of priced in already. Because we have seen months and months of news about this Bitcoin ETF. We have seen Gary Gensler talking with all of these institutions, BlackRock, everybody, and it is actually kind of like, okay, the green light is coming around the 10th of January, right? Will that become a massive pump, or is everyone already anticipating that news, therefore already positioned, and therefore we have seen this rally? I personally, guys, I don't know, and there's not a possible way to know this, but I just seeing already right now some warning signals that just really caught my attention. Also, this chart I want to bring out, the Stablecoin Dominance, and you can look at this multiple ways, and I see there's definitely a case to be made for another drop in this chart. Definitely look at this declining channel, right? There's definitely a case to be made, but we definitely also getting some form of a support that we are touching right now. Horizontal level has been previous resistance right here. It's better visible on the weekly time frame. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean. So this has been previous resistance right here, and we are touching this level right now. Let's check if it also has some significance in terms of Fibonacci levels. If we take from the lows till the highs, then you can see it's not really, we are between the 50 and 61.80%, which again would be an argument that we still could come lower to that 61.80%. So still could have that drop, but it's definitely clear, guys. It's clear that we are getting closer and closer to a top in the Bitcoin price, and it doesn't have to be the bull market top. I'm not saying that, but it is going to be a short-term top where we at least going to be a shakeout from to the downside. Then I want to bring out the derivatives exchange data profile picture, because this one is definitely one of the most interesting ones right now. We are looking at Bitcoin, and we can see that the derivatives exchange data is not that bullish if you want to play with leverage, for example. So we can see the taker by sell ratio is definitely below the blue line, right? Normally when you can see this thing is below the blue line, the momentum is losing, and we can see when this is below the blue line, normally the price tends to go down. Here we also go below the blue line right here, and then you can see we slowly rolling over. This is not directly, this is like average right here. Also we go above the blue line, then we go below the blue line, We had this last pump, but generally we correct. We have this big shakeout when we go below the blue line. Here also below the blue line, and we had that capitulation event. Another thing that's very important are the funding rates. Well, the funding rates, guys, and this is the most reliable website to get the funding rates, willportal.com. Why? Because we are taking the funding rates of most used cryptocurrency exchanges for margin trading, and we are calculating the average from all of them. So we're not looking like only at the Bybit funding rate or only at the BitGet. We just take BitGet, Bybit, Binance, all these exchanges, we combine it, and then you can see that we actually have right now the highest funding rates even since probably 1.5 years. So that is something to say as well. We have the highest funding rate since 1.5 years. And normally we can see funding rates in the bull market really going positive, and they can remain positive, and they can become even more positive than what we are seeing right now. So it is definitely possible that Bitcoin's price continues to go up with higher funding rate. Generally, it's just a warning signal. It's just showing like, okay, it's a little bit overheated. The car is overheated. You're putting full gas. Is the engine going to stop? Yes or no? There's a little bit smoke coming off the hood from the car. But can the car drive further? Yes. Can it go even faster? Maybe yes, depending on the motor, right? But we just get a little bit overheated. And that's also, guys, that's also how beautiful this system is. That's why I would urge every single one of you to use Will Portal, because this system, look at this. Like right now in hindsight, of course, easier talking, but here we could see Bitcoin moving sideways, and then we can see that, okay, we have already getting a little bit that moving average of the take buy sell ratio going above the blue line. We can already see some buying pressure right here, but funding rates are low, premium is negative, and we can see that increase in the price. Right here we can see, okay, the take buy sell ratio significantly go lower right here, losing momentum. Funding rates are coming up. That is also very important to know. They are coming up right here, and then we see and here also the premium index coming up, right, which means that price is led by derivatives. So it gets positive, we dump. Here also positive premium, what happens? We dump. Here also positive premium, what happens? We dump. Really short term time frame. Here also positive premium, what happens? We dump. And what do we see right now? Yes, you call it right. We have seen already like major positive premium, and this shows us really the market conditions, because here we have positive premium, right? And the price moving sideways, consolidating, and then suddenly the premium comes down. That is very bullish, because that basically tells us that, wow, Bitcoin moves up right here, everyone is turning bullish, then Bitcoin moves sideways, and while moving sideways, we can see the funding rate coming down, we can see the premium coming down, which means that people are more starting to think like, okay, taking profits, this was the move, let's open some shorts, right? Otherwise the funding rate doesn't go down. Which in hindsight is then again very bullish, because the negative premium and funding rate declining doesn't necessarily have to go negative, but declining is very beautiful, is bullish. And then we can see the Bitcoin makes another rally, right? But now we can see the funding is definitely, of the premium is definitely positive. The funding is as high as it's been since 1.5 years. Can we sustain that a little bit longer? Yes. Does things get overheated right now too? Yes. So that's why I would say like this would be a nice time if you have, for example, long-term position and you want to swing trade a little bit now and then, or you want to take some profits off the table. This is not a very wrong time for me personally, when we look at all the signals in the markets, to take a little bit profits, right? And can we jump to 48k? Yes, definitely possible. Definitely possible, but then at least you have taken already a little bit of profits during before that. Then guys, I want to bring your attention to this chart again. This is Stablecoin Dominance, and what we are seeing with the stablecoin dominance, I just think is very important or very interesting, is that we have these bullish divergences with the relative strength index. Also, when you go to the daily time frame, it's a little bit better visible, right? We have this declining resistance, we break out to the upside, we have this big bullish divergence, and it looks like that sooner or later this chart can definitely get a breather, but maybe we get that last dip. So maybe first at 48k. But sometimes we can also be a little bit too greedy, like I want to get everything out of my position. And that's what I learned sometimes in the past, that okay, when I see good risk to reward ratio setups, I'm going to take it, right? Like we did with the Ethereum trade in the past couple of days, which is up 11%. But if you have your portfolio up 11% against Bitcoin, and it's also 60% of your portfolio, that can already be a yearly salary, depending on your portfolio and depending on the money you need for living. But like, don't underestimate a 10% move with a very low risk. So that's a 10% move with a very low risk. I think that's actually very beautiful. And I'm very happy that we could take that trade right here on the channel. And congratulations to every single one that took that trade together with me. The next trade that I'm looking at is already published in Will Alerts, which can happen any moment right here. And I will share that over the next coming days right here on the channel too. But in this video, I just wanted to focus a little bit on Bitcoin. So it really would make sense if you just take a step back from the markets and you would have a rational view, and we can see, okay, things are overheated, sentiment is very positive. It would make sense for Bitcoin to get a correction right here and the stablecoin dominance come up, and maybe we don't get that last push. That's the whole point. Should we wait with 100% of our portfolio to get that last push to take profits, or don't we get that last push and do we first get a breather before we maybe later turn around and then come right here? Maybe we should do some polls, guys. Maybe that's good. Let me know in the comment section, very important, and you can also read from other people's comments. Let me know in the comment section what you think is going to happen. Is Bitcoin right here in a distribution phase where we're basically topping out and that we are going to see a correction and this chart is going to go up? Or are we just consolidating sideways, and can we push this train farther even though the smoke is coming off the hood? Can we just go higher? Can we go to 48k, 50k, maybe even higher? Is that Bitcoin ETF approval at the 10th of January? Is it going to push a significant amount of volume into Bitcoin, which makes the price jump? Or maybe we can see first a dump before the ETF, and then after the ETF get a big pump. Guys, I'm very curious what you think. I will do a poll on my channel too. So comment it down below. Go to my channel page, to the community. Find that poll too. I will post it directly. Let me know what you think. Bitcoin going to 48k. And what is the downside? Let's say maybe 38k. So we have 38 or 48k. Which level will be touched first? Let me know in the comment section down below. And let me also know, guys, what you think about the sentiment, because that's very important, right? I remember how I felt right here. Here we would really feel like, okay, there's no way Bitcoin's going to go up. We're going to consolidate and we're going to see lower levels. Everyone was bearish. It was a very negative. Even the analysts that I was personally really look up to, I'm not going to call out names, but there are some analysts that I really take serious. They were extremely, extremely bearish at this range. So it's even funny, it's even crazy for me that even though a lot of people have way more experience than me, they are also sometimes at the wrong side of the track. And that is also what I'm teaching often right here on the channel. Basically how the markets work, and that is very easy and simple to explain, is you have a percentage of bears, negative, let's call it bears, and you have a percentage of bulls. Right, and the bigger the bulls and the smaller the bears become. So the bigger the bulls, the smaller the bears. So what do we have left if everyone is bullish? That's all potential sellers. Because when everyone is bearish and the bulls shrink and the bears are in full control, then how many buyers we have? I mean, we have a little bit bullish people, little bit buyers here, but these are the real buyers. These are all out of the markets because they have been bearish. So that's why the markets moves between extremely bullish, which marks the top, to go to extremely bearish, which marks the bottom. Because these are the cycles, the emotional, sentimental cycles. So yeah, guys, these are my 5 cents. Like I said, like maybe and it's also something that I wanted to share. If you go to willporter.com and you click on Bitcoin cycles, we have you can see basically where we are in the 4-year cycle, where we are in the 16-year cycle, and there's a very big difference between the 4-year and the 16-year cycle. If we were to be in a 4-year cycle, then it would really make sense for Bitcoin to correct at the levels that we are right now. Because that would mean that 2024 can be a sideways year, and 2025 we are going to see the real bull market, or end 2024. I don't think personally that that's the case. So if we go to Bitcoin cycles, right, the 16-year cycle, that one is actually slightly different. That one predicts a very extended bull market early. So what we are seeing right now already, which means that it can go on, continue to go up, maybe until Q1 of 2024. And then we see a multi-year long bear market. So both outcomes are very different. Do we know right now what is going to happen? No, we don't know. We don't know whether we see a regular 4-year cycle or a 16-year cycle. We basically don't know. Can we possibly know? Well, we can maybe know in Q1 of 2024. Then the price action might become a little bit clearer. So that is definitely a time frame that I'm looking at. But generally speaking, guys, just looking at this from a technical standpoint, it's kind of like, okay, we are still in an uptrend, we are consolidating, so we could actually still see another move to the upside, especially like I said earlier today, ascending triangle, bullish pattern, has a higher likelihood to break out to the upside. But if we just take a step back from the crypto markets, and we can see, okay, we have very high funding. The sentiment is extremely bullish. When you scroll over on Twitter, it's everyone sharing their profits from Bybit, stuff like that. Meme tokens are going through the roof. A lot of money is flowing everywhere. And the anticipation on the Bitcoin ETF approval is also almost there, while actually everyone already has been anticipating this. So we have seen MicroStrategy going up in value. We have seen Coinbase going up in value. So there is already some institutional interest in these stocks, right? And this is most likely because of the Bitcoin ETF. So let's say I'm an institution and I'm thinking like, okay, for my clients, I want to have exposure to Bitcoin, but I don't want to do it like Michael Saylor. I don't want to go to Coinbase, to an exchange, create an account, and have them hold my Bitcoin, because that's basically what Michael Saylor does. Coinbase is holding Michael Saylor's crypto, and it's also going to do that for BlackRock. But let's say you don't want to do that, which already I think would be weird, because as an institution, why not just go to Coinbase, make that institutional investment, let them hold it for you. It's also kind of like an ETF, right, with the company. But yeah, if you don't want to do that and you want to really buy something like an ETF or financial instrument from traditional finance, then you could at least buy the Coinbase stock, which is based on holding Bitcoin. That one goes up in value, which went crazy up in value, actually, even more than Bitcoin itself. That shows the institutional interest already. Or you can just buy MicroStrategy stock. I mean, Michael Saylor puts all his money in Bitcoin too, right? But there's also like, I think ARK Invest or Grayscale BTC. There are some options for institutions to already enter the market. So what is that ETF is that really going to change? I don't know, but I know there's a lot of anticipation, and I know that the market participants, the bulls, which are definitely in the majority right now, they all already bought with the idea that the Bitcoin ETF is going to be approved. Right, similar with the stock to flow model. At the end of the previous bull market, everyone knew already. Yes, everyone knew about the stock to flow, Bitcoin going to $100,000, which then of course didn't happen. And now it feels like a little bit, okay, we are very bullish sentiment. Everyone expects that last push on the Bitcoin ETF news. Maybe we just don't get it. I don't know. Like I said, this is just a warning video. I just share with you a little bit the warning signs that are showing right now in the markets. And That is a bounce on the stablecoin dominance, maybe distribution on Bitcoin, and we have seen very overheated signals in the derivatives exchange data profile from worldportal.com. Guys, again, let me know what you think is going to happen with Bitcoin. It's going to be very important. I will do a nice poll on YouTube. Just let me know. Yeah, guys. Thank you all for watching. Hope you can appreciate this. If you are new, make sure to subscribe. I want to go as fast as possible to 20,000 subscribers, guys. We really need to do this because the more subscribers we have, the harder this channel goes, the more we can invest in World Portal, the better videos we can create. Everything goes up in quality, which means more gains as well. Right? That's why we're here for. Okay, guys. Love you, and I see every single one of you in the next video.